Goddamn Nazis, at it again. Blood Vessel is brought to us by Australian special effects maestro turned director Justin Dix. We follow the survivors of a sunken medical vessel in the Pacific Ocean in the last days of World War II. After days of floating adrift and running out of their rations, they come across a ship, or a vessel. After boarding the ship, they find out that it is not just any ship, but it is an enemy Nazi ship. However, even though they've been loud as fuck getting on this enemy ship, they notice that they haven't seen any of the inhabitants of the ship. Upon closer inspection, they find a few of the crew members that are dead that seem as if they met their demise in a fairly odd way. And by odd, I mean horrifically gruesome and violent. After a bit more searching, they come across a survivor who doesn't speak their language. However, they soon find that said survivor is not the only thing lurking on this ship, and soon things get very bloody and very deadly very quickly. This movie ended up being something I wasn't expecting, while at the same time being exactly what I was expecting. The thing that is going on this boat is not what I initially expected it to be. However, the way the situation plays out, for the most part, is more or less what I was expecting from this movie. A small group of people in a small confined area having to battle against a monstrous force. The story here is not too bad. I mean, the basic core story of it all, we've seen this kind of thing before, but it does throw a few extra twists and turns in there to keep it a little fresh. It does take quite a bit longer to get to the meat of it all than I originally thought it would. But it uses that time for us to get to know some of these characters a bit and also to build tension, which it does pretty effectively. The characters are all fairly likable and interesting, and the performances are all pretty good with a hint of camp to each of them. I was pretty surprised by the quality of the production values given this being an indie flick. Everything here looks really good, and with the exception of some outside background shots, they used very little CGI that I could tell. There's some great practical special effects and makeup here. A great deal of it is some nasty ass looking gore, and if you're into that kind of thing, you will be happy here. Speaking of those practical gore effects, while it all looks great, it's nowhere near as over the top as I expected it to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with the filmmakers managing well what they were capable of with the budget that they had. We will see filmmakers exceed their budgetary limits in films like this quite a bit, and it shows on screen. You'll end up with some shit effects or something that just doesn't look right overall and kind of takes away from the experience. And while it does seem here like they wanted to go bigger, they never do. They stay within the confines of their budget, so everything still looks really good. Sure, it would have been great to just see more of everything, but if it's not in the budget, it's just not in the budget. If you push yourself beyond those limits, then it just comes off looking like shit and hurts it more than if you just didn't put there to begin with. While the movie's story and execution is fairly simple, and we've seen similar things like this before, they do put a nice little twist on some old tropes to keep things interesting. I can't really say what that twist is for fear of spoiling things, but it has to do with people doing things that they don't really want to do. I thought that this did add in an extra wild card, adding to the overall tension of the movie as a whole. Overall, this was a fairly well executed movie. However, the ending, while still entertaining, did end up going into more cliched and expected territory. The ending moments were very expected. I knew pretty much what was going to happen, and that is exactly what happened. As I said, still entertaining, but not very surprising. Guys, overall, Blood Vessel was an entertaining watch. It had some pretty solid performances, some great practical effects, a really good solid build up to the meat of the story, and while there's not really any surprises here, it was still an entertaining watch overall. I wouldn't go as far to say that this movie's worth running out and renting right away, but it is definitely worth checking out on streaming.
Across the street.
If you're looking for a solid little entertaining horror flick for the night, then Blood Vessel may very well have your ticket. So there it is, guys, my review of Blood Vessel. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Berlin.
Get fucked.
Does every small group of people in a small confined area movie have to have that glasses wearing asshole douchebag who fucks everything up for everybody character in it? You know what I'm talking about. They're usually the more nerdy type of guy, and they're in every one of these movies, and yes, this one as well. If I'm ever stuck on a raft or an island or locked up with a group of people in some fucking crazy warehouse or some just whatever, if I'm in a situation where it's me and a bunch of people and we're in a small confined space and there's some nerdy looking motherfucker there who seems like he's getting on everybody's nerves and potentially gonna fuck up everything, I will kill that motherfucker right then and there. because chances are if I don't, he will end up getting more of us killed, including myself. And I ain't about that life, motherfucker. In these types of situations, it's either you or me, and guess what? It ain't gonna be me!